What's up, everybody? It's your teammate Velvaria, and welcome to my video vlog reaction video. And what you see right now is an excerpt from Judge Judy, which I'm going to react to it very, very hard because that scenario is relevant to me as a person with autism. The school system could be messy. The school system could be very uncalled for, very disrespectful, since it's really relevant to me, my experience. One of which is there's this one teacher accused me of something that I never did. She asked me if I did this. I said no, but this teacher won't believe me because this teacher was misunderstood, having misconception about autistics. On the other hand, I encountered a bullying incident in silence when I was in kindergarten, while I was splitting my time in the special school and in the mainstream school. This is in the mainstream school where I experienced the silent bullying, where we did some book work and they vandalized my workbook, and that's the reason why I ended up being alone, which is, I thought it was sad, but it's helpful for me. I was secluded. I wasn't offended for being secluded, but I was being offended because, at that time I was so numb. I was so naive about things like this. I wasn't able to speak up what's happening to my mom at that time. And sometimes school systems don't understand autism and other intellectual disabilities until they were called out. So, in my experience, it was harsh, and it's also a double-edged sword for me. Way back in grade school, like elementary level, I was also downgraded by my classmates, and because me and my brother were classmates, okay, until high school. Before I'm thinking about transferring to another school, I was like, I want to go to an international school where I feel the sense of belongingness, where I feel the sense of acceptance, where I feel that I am free, where the feeling that I wanted the comfortable environment, not this kind of harsh environment that I've had when I was in high school, when I was in elementary, when I was in kindergarten. It was really tough for me. But with this kind of bullying incident and mistreatment, this taught me to face the harsh reality and do something about it. That's the reason why this motivated me to become a self-advocate out of these experiences that I've had way back since 2014. And I continue to advocate for a decent inclusivity in educational institutions, whether it's on kindergarten, grade school, elementary, high school, middle school, college, even in trade school. Teachers don't have the right to mistreat their kids in the first freaking place. Because children also have feelings like us adults. So, before I said those takeaways, feel free to watch with me this video. This will intrigue you and this will trigger you. You will realize what I'm saying. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, but this is something you need to hear. So, let's go and watch this video.
Closed room.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Did there ever come a time, Tony, when you were put in a closed room?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I guess I got in trouble from talking, and so they put me in this room.
Wow!
Tony,
Not very big. It was full of all this stuff too.
what kind of stuff was it full of?
It was with canned food, some boxes.
I do have pictures. I'd like to
That kid can speak very well, with respect and courtesy.
Canned food. It's a storage closet.
Damn. Sorry.
Yes, there was other children.
Did the door work? Could you open the door and get out?
It locked. The door handle was broken.
Whoa!
Times were you placed in the room?
5-6 days.
Always because of behavior?
Yes, Your
Because you
Honor.
were talking, not doing the right thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where are you in school now, Tony?
Palmer Elementary.
So you're back in you.
Hold on. So teachers lock their autistic children in a stockroom full of dusty stuff. You want them isolated. Capital weirdo. Those teachers did it are weirdo. That's so disrespectful for in my watch. That's not in my watch. You're not nurturing your students. You just give them the trauma. You're just giving them the crap. The fear that they don't want to go to school. I'm so sad for this 12-year-old guy. I'm so sad also for other kids who are involved in this incident. You locked them in a closet. That's triggered. That's very, very, very triggering in my books. That's so painful as hell. I'm sorry, son. Just continue what you're saying. I'm sorry, honey.
Yes, Your Honor.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Doing better?
Yep.
When you were put in this storage closet, Tony, how frequently did somebody come in to check on you?
Every few hours.
Miss Myers, I'm going to start with you. How long have you been at Cornerstone?
I came at the end of October of '05
Where did you come from?
from Hilltop.
Hilltop is what?
Hilltop is another private school in the community.
How long have you been at Hilltop?
Off and on for 22 years.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
When?
In 2002 is when I completed all my credits.
So you worked at Hilltop without being a college graduate.
Yes, because our curriculum is accredited.
But you worked there without having a degree in education.
Yes.
Hilltop. What is your degree in?
I have an associate's.
So you don't have a bachelor's degree in education.
No, I do not because our curriculum doesn't require it.
Is this a school for special needs children?
The curriculum comes from Texas, fully accredited by California's
Dude!
educational system.
I didn't ask you for the brochure answer. Is the Cornerstone Christian School a school for
Bruh.
children with special needs?
No.
But
You gotta be a graduate of bachelor 4-year program, even 6 years program, for you to be
children who have
a
special
teacher.
I have an ACE.
You don't have any.
Before she does her thing. I'm sorry to get a stop and go, but honestly, in order for a credible teacher to teach special needs kids, you gotta graduate 4 to 6 years. Even some, they took masters for that. Some took doctoral for that, a PhD for that. Who are you? You are only in a high school diploma. You are in a high school diploma, but you don't have a proper education, training, and stuff that will meet for the category, for the requirement for you to become eligible teacher for special kids. Even some special kids teachers in the Philippines just work their asses. They work their ass off. They work their butts off to be where they are right now. Even if you're going to be a physical therapy, to be a caretaker for special education, special kids or special needs kids, you also gotta go intense training for that. Even if you're gonna be a caretaker to avoid this unwanted instance just like this happening right now. Who are you to do that? Who are you? You're just gonna be an imposter? I know imposter existed in Among Us. Dude, imposter existed in Among Us. Not in this profession, honey. You were just destroying the image of a special education teacher. That was just weird. The way that y'all do. The way that y'all misunderstood about stuff. The way that this so-called teacher, you just destroyed the image of a reputable special needs teacher. And that's really sad. You got to understand that you got to work for it. You don't just ba. I only graduated in an associate. I do graduate in high school, but I'm on an associate certificate program in music. That was a different skill. That was a different profession. But special education wise, this is a heavy responsibility. Coming from someone who studies in a special education school, from a special school for autistic children, I see, secretly, I observe the struggle, the skill set, the ability, the knowledge, the responsibility of a special needs therapist or a special needs teacher who handles autistic kids. They are pretty sensitive about this. They are pretty careful when they're doing their job because they don't want to lose the reputation of a responsible special needs teacher. So who are you? And you don't make research about this profession and then you just step into the classroom. Hey, I'm your special needs teacher. I'm only with you graduated on the high school level. And then with her saying that it is credited in California, dude, California system is different in Texas and different in Washington. That's the reason why. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's some licensure exams, license in each state. Let's say if you live in Washington, you're going to teach special needs kids. That was recognized in Washington. Then you have to teach there. And you gotta go get another license for another state if you move out, or that's it. Just let me know. I hope you guys, I don't complicate you. But going back to my vid, I was really frustrated that you, instead of just comforting the kid who is suffering and is emotionally stressed, you make that child's situation worse. What's wrong with you, dude? Even Judge Judy doesn't stand for that. She doesn't even sit with your answer, madam. I'm sorry. This is something that you gotta think a million times. Because let me tell you my story. I wanted to become a special education teacher because of my experiences in a special school. But do I have the means to qualify? No. But I can still go and do that if I finish the requirements, if I complete the prerequisites. That's what you're supposed to do, ma'am. You have to think about it. If you get inspired, if you had a daughter who has autism, get inspired to go in college. Finish a 4-year degree, 5-year degree, if that's the case. For special education, early childhood education, or special education as a master's. That's not even hard. But you took advantage of it. Honestly, you took advantage of those special needs kids in a bad way. That's too much. And you got too far right there. Well, let me get back to the video anyway.
I have an ECE certificate.
You have nothing. I'm talking about the school. You
She's
have
right.
An associate's degree. They wouldn't permit you in most jurisdictions to teach at any school. I'm asking you, what special training anyone at the school, other than yourself, because you have no educational background to treat children with special needs. You don't have a bachelor's degree in education, and you don't have a master's degree in education. Certainly you don't have the degree to teach children with special needs. I would sue you for a lot more than the return of its tuition. How dare
In short,
how dare you take children who
Madame,
have special needs?
she's an
This is a
imposter.
young man who came from a school where he wasn't functioning appropriately because he had certain behavioral problems. You took him into your school. You have absolutely no background in children with special conditions or handicapping conditions. You don't even have the requisite credentials to teach in most jurisdictions children who don't have special needs. What is your educational background?
I graduated from high school. I don't know what your definition of a special student is, but I will tell you that the only special need he needed was to be able to sit down and work at his pace. He couldn't engage with other kids.
Dude!
Mr. England, let me stop you right there, sir. Let me stop you right there, sir. Someone who has a high school education does not have the credentials to tell me or to tell anybody who happens to have a little bit more than a high school education what a special needs child needs. I worked in the family court for 25 years. I know about children with
She's a
special
family
needs.
lawyer,
I know
actually.
children who have ADHD. I know about children who have learning disabilities. I know children who have behavioral problems. And And if what you're telling me is that you believe that your school and the people who teach, and I use that word very, very loosely.
He outsmarted Judge Judy in the first place. I'm sorry.
Very, very loosely. People who have no more than an associate's degree recently acquired have the skill to take a child for whom they have done zero testing.
No, we tested him.
Who tested him?
I did.
You have a high school degree, sir.
No, I tested him with the curriculum that we
What?
use. And you're not even asking about the curriculum.
Listen, Mr. England, I'm telling you, sir.
You're wrong.
Mr. England, this is not a give and take situation,
Yes,
sir.
it is, because you're not listening.
No, it's not a give and take situation.
You're not even listening, sir.
I don't think that I have to listen to nonsense about two people who have a bare minimum education where you couldn't get a job in most governmental institutions, taking a child with clearly a behavioral special need and putting him in a closet.
Whoa!
That had stored food with a table and a chair.
That's abuse. Putting a kid on the closet is abuse. That's abuse. Putting a kid on the closet is abuse. Bruh. Who are you? Are you okay? Are you out of your mind? Both of y'all? Judge Judy has called you out for that because this is uncalled for. And I called him out for that as well. Honestly, even if you teach music to the choir, you teach music to special kids, special needs kids, you gotta have a license exam to be a music teacher. You gotta have a license exam, licensure, a license of teaching to teach kids. Even in college, if you got a master's degree, and you get your license exam, licensure exam, you pass them, you gotta become a teacher for college students. College student is a little bit demanding, but this is more challenging. This will take a lot of patience. So these two were very, very, very close-minded, narrow-minded. They do not even know about special education, like it's bad teaching. No, that's pathetic. You don't treat those kids like that. You put them on a closet that they cannot breathe. That is abuse. Capital abuse. Capital ABUSE. And that's not good. And if I was the mom with a kid who is autistic, and then these teachers were messing up with my kid, I will turn their ass down and say, hey, what they did is abuse. And Judge Judy said everything. I will go back to that part where she said it, because everybody needs to enlighten their minds. Okay? I'm saying this coming from an experience, coming from someone like me who has autism, have been studying in both mainstream school and special school. And if I encountered an autistic was being treated like that, that's not a nice idea. Like putting them on the box, putting them on the closet to calm their butts down. Put it on your skull. It's not a good idea. You don't just let a crying baby put in a box to calm their ass down. I'm sorry for my words. I'm sorry for my language, but this is who I am. Now let me go back to what you said.
Guide, very, very loosely. People who have no more than an associate's degree recently acquired have the skill to take a child for whom
That makes
they have
sense.
Zero testing.
No, we tested him.
Who tested him?
I did.
You have a high school degree, sir.
No, I tested him with the curriculum that we
Dude, that's not.
Listen, Mr. England, I'm telling you, sir.
You're wrong.
Mr. England, this is not a give and take situation,
Yes,
sir.
it is, because you're not
No,
listening.
it's not a give and take situation, sir. I don't think that I have to listen to nonsense about two people who have a bare minimum education where you
Both of
get a
them
job in most
outsmarting a
governmental
judge is not a good idea.
Taking a child with clearly a behavioral special need and putting him in a closet.
That's
That
abuse.
stored food with a table and a chair and told him to work there during the day, and somebody who worked for 22 years to get a an associate's degree, went in and said, "Do you need to go to the bathroom?" Judgment for the plaintiff, the amount to $2,750. That's all. Step out. Thank you.
That's over.
Yes.
That's what you get when you outsmart someone who is more reputable and who's more respected, who has the experience in this kind of field. And you can never mess with a reputable person like Judge Judy. Like if she said something because she already gave you the time to talk about your side. What he did is absolutely no give and take right there. That's so weird. That's not a nice idea. Honestly, the 12-year-old guy, 12-year-old son, did very good. He has courtesy. He listens at the same time. He handles this very well. And he spoke on behalf of other kids who were falling into the victims of these two oldies who barely have idea about what they're doing. They technically do not know what they're doing. I know you gotta follow your intuition, but you sometimes gotta follow your logistical analysis. You gotta get your logistical analysis open as well, operated. It has to be well operated. It's not like the way you want it. You claim that you can do this, but you don't know how to do it. Stop. That's enough. I don't want to see other kids with intellectual disabilities like autism to be treated like this. It's so sad. It's weird. Come on. That has to stop. We don't want special needs children to fall on that traumatic moment, that this 12-year-old son and other kids has gone through. It's too much. They have intellectual disability. They have the trauma. What comes next? If the trauma is unhealed, that will end up on the health problem, having a health problem. They want to live a better life and have a better education. And they have to get an education that they needed. So if you guys running a school for special needs or handling a special needs children, you gotta think twice and be sensitive on what you're going to do. Be sensitive on what you're going to do. Because one day, if you don't understand what you're doing, you'll make a big mistake and you will regret it for the rest of your life. So you have to think before doing something. And they don't know how to think. And they don't know how to open their logistic analysis in them. They don't have the logistic analysis in them, but they have the passive gesture, like, oh, we're just gonna do it even though we're a high school diploma holder. Come on. You work hard for something that is heavy, like teachers. They have a heavy responsibility. They educate children, yes. They educate students, yes. But they carry most of the responsibilities like a parent. So, sorry for being strict and straightforward. I'm reasonably straightforward on this one because you don't want this incident happen again, over and over again. So if you want to handle special needs kids, you gotta work hard for it. You go graduate on a certain level, finish on the prerequisite level, and one day you'll have the chance. And you don't abuse special needs kids like that. You gotta comfort them. You got to encourage them. This goes for family members, okay? If an autistic individual was having a meltdown, you don't just put them on a closet or in a box. You let them give the time to let their frustrations out, because bottling up sucks. You know? That's their way of expressing their frustration, and I cannot blame them for that, and I have autism too. I do have meltdowns as well. That a way of getting my frustrations out and getting the message across, my emotions across too. So I salute also for this mother of this 12-year-old son who is trying her best not to have her son lose her sanity because of this incident that these two teachers did bad on this 12-year-old son. So I don't want to say, I cannot say that much because Judge Judy has already said her piece. So this is not, I'm not only reacting on the problem, but I reacted on what these two teachers did. They're interrupting when somebody's talking. They're back talking on her as well. I'm sorry if I called them out. So this is something that this video, it opened my mind, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want other people with autism to experience the same pain that this video has shown, you know? This is an example. Awareness and responsibility. Even that happens in life. You gotta be aware and be responsible. So, I'm sorry, this is a very aggressive reaction video I ever done. So, thank you guys for watching this video, and hope you guys get mad at me. Just kidding. No, get mad. Okay. You enjoy it? Okay. And you're laughing at me? Okay. I accept your opinion. Bye. And see you when I see you.